member of WildGamesProductions.com and D20Radio.com. They came from the game table, dice bags in hand.
We have one brain that we share between us.
To talk about role-playing for all across the land.
And you like it.
The original, then basic, then one they scoured.
Kinda grabs you by the boo-boo, don't it?
To bring AD&D to the second power.
You want me to put the hammer down?
Welcome to THACO's Hammer, the best damn AD&D 2nd edition podcast ever.
And it differs from state to state, sometimes county to county, sometimes town to town. It differs.
Tell me about it.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about it. Hiya, folks. THACO's Hammer number 101.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like Highway 101 in California. I'm DM Glen.
Cuisinart.
There we go. I'm DM Glen. And next episode's going to be 102, like the beer. So I'm DM Glen. We got DM Brian here.
Hey, folks, what's going on out there?
He's the guy that edits it, so I got to make him next. And DM Corey.
What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody out there has got a drink and some dice. We're about to get it on.
Okay, and of course we can't leave out DM Full On Gamer.
Greetings, Gamer Nation. Gamers, GMs, have you ever wanted to go on a sea voyage with absolutely zero chance of getting lost at sea?
That's what GPSs are for.
That's what the moon sea is for. Just go one direction in a straight line, you will hit a beach.
True.
And if you miss it, you end up in
or something like that.
Lost.
Anyway, let's go. Well, let's head over to hits and crits.
Well,
one thought he was invincible, the other thought he could fly.
so?
They were both wrong.
Son of a bitch is dug in like an Alabama tick.
You're hit. You're bleeding, man.
I ain't got time to bleed.
We're sending somebody in to negotiate.
Anybody else want to negotiate?
Hits and crits.
Hits and crits. What you been doing, Brian?
Oh, well, I finally got out Splatbook 94 as of yesterday, October 19th, 2014, because, we've got like a 6-show cushion right now.
What, you folks expected fast service?
Hey, I'm a new father, so I got an excuse.
I almost thought you were a newborn there.
Yeah. It's the way, sometimes I wonder. But, yeah, so...
And diapers, maybe?
Oh, God, yeah. Diapers be expensive.
The man diapers? Well, it depends.
Oh. Oh, there's a triple entendre right there. Well done, Glenn.
Thank you.
But yeah, so aside from that, once I get Splatbook 95 out, I'm gonna get Session 14 of Hammers of the Duchy out, and then from there, I think we're going to do another God, I've forgotten the name of what we call it. Actual plays, AP. Thank you.
I was gonna say game.
Yeah, and do another game. Probably gonna do Marvel Superheroes. I personally think that the most fun we're going to have is generating characters, because I'm going to have to say no. You can't have the power cosmic.
Come on,
you cannot have
power cosmic. I don't need it. I'm better than that.
Would you rather run Ghostbusters, or are we trotting on Vince's toes there?
That's okay. No, I'm cool with Marvel Superheroes.
I know what I want to make.
I mean, it's not like I don't have. It's not like I don't have adventure ideas. I play Marvel Superheroes almost every day. So yeah.
Okay.
So.
Okay, let's go. Well, Full On was saying something. What's been doing, Full On?
I just wanted to let him know that if you're going to game something like that, I'd go with Captain Casual. His superhero outfit is everything from like American Outfitters. Wears polo shirts and stuff like that.
Oh my!
I'm not sure exactly what superpower.
But when he goes to his job, goes to his job in his alter ego. That's when he's at his job and he's wearing like a superhero costume.
Wow. Yeah, he works at a comic book store. There we go.
So, Old Republic.
Old Republic still in the middle of times 12 XP leading up to the release of the new expansion. So if you're a sub, you get all kinds of goodies. If you're not a sub, eat it.
Oh, you love it.
Well, we
You
all
love
know
it.
that.
Corey, what's up? What you been doing?
What's up, Glenn? How you been, buddy?
Okay, all decked out in my lesser-known stuff here. What you been up to?
Drawing. Putting together a large portfolio of random art pieces to put onto RPG Drive-Thru, and get
I've
some
been
more.
thinking of doing that myself.
Yep, I got a couple more pages of the comic worked on. Working on talking to a couple colorists. We have some inkers. We're getting some colorists, and then what else have I been doing? Oh yeah, Life. That terrible thing.
Yeah, that's
You still
that
playing?
terminal
You still
disease.
playing You still playing that 2E game?
Yeah, I play every other Sunday. Last Sunday we played. It was quite fun destroying orcs for the sake of the Native American elves, the Slapaho tribe from South Jersey.
Slapaho. Did the chief talk like this? Did the chief talk like this?
Jungle elves who don't want us to go and dig up their ancestral previous kingdom ruins because that's where the spirits of their forefathers live. So we have to hold up shiny stuff,
Oh,
give them blankets and bottles of whiskey so they look the other way.
Some beads and things like that.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
See, that's what I like about Eberron Drow and their jungles full of dinosaurs.
I still want to use that campaign. Whatever edition. It's just, I can't resist pulp.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds great, Corey.
How about you, Glenn? What you been up to?
Oh, let's see. Life. I'm in the middle of switching rooms here, moving the office over to the other side of the house. Let's see. We played 5e last Saturday. We're in the middle of Horde of the Dragon Queen, and we just found out that the Cult of the Dragon is trying to get steel eggs, get them hatched, so they have fodder for making Draco Legends.
Nice.
And,
so 5th edition is working pretty good?
Yeah, it's okay. There's some good, there's some bad. Most of the bad stuff I don't like is usually in the background. Not the mechanics per se, but all the other fiddly bits that I usually object to. Like, don't force me to make a background for my character. I will make one. I don't need to be forced. With the bonds and all that kind of crap. So that's just bells and whistles. But so we stopped. I think we got in a couple of fights, which were fun. I'm playing a necromancer. Oh, we went from 1st to 3rd level in one game.
Wow.
One game. Well, isn't like 1st level only you need like 300 XP to level? They want you out of like 1st through 3rd ASAP.
Yes, they usher you up to 3rd real fast.
Yeah,
great for a Dark Sun campaign.
Yeah, exactly.
No kidding.
Yeah, but now I have a thrall. The other player, I'm playing the necromancer, and this other guy who's playing a hobbit, the kid Rain I mentioned, is now my minion.
Very nice.
I managed to bring him back from the dead. My character's really turning into he's getting a Dr. Frankenstein complex. Everything we kill, I want to just where's the parts? I want to play with it. So I brought him back. I sewed him together. He's got half of his butt. He's got a tail now because half of his butt came off a kobold.
Okay.
And the DM said, okay, he owes you your life. I said, okay. And you always kind of want to do what he says. I said, well, I'm not abusing it yet. But we'll see how that goes. I also asked the $1 million question after we were through gaming. And I said, they want to raise eggs to make Dracoliches. What's going to happen? And they're revering Tiamat. How does Tiamat feel about all this? He says, well, that's the question you're going to find out while playing the game.
Tiamat doesn't care. Tiamat don't care. As long as she has more power, she don't care. She don't care how she gets it.
Well, they're going to find out real soon.
I'm sure they will.
If that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know dragons themselves hate sea Dracoliches or being turned into Dracoliches. I think maybe their goal is to turn Tiamat into a Dracolich. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Like to see that happen. Yeah. Right. Anyway, that's me. Oh, and I want to give a shout out to Zach Galzar. Yay, I probably pretty mispronounced your name, Mr. Lesser Gnome. He's got a Kickstarter going around now for another box set of an adventure called Death and Taxes.
Yeah, I saw that.
By the time this comes out, it's probably going to be over with. But that just means after it's done, he'll sell it. So keep an eye out on the Lesser Gnome website, lessergnome.com. You're welcome, Zach. We have any emails?
Oh yeah, we've got emails for sure.
Oh, okay. Well, why don't we get into a few of them?
Okay. All right. Let's see. I'll start off with one from one of our regular emailers, Doug.
Okay.
And he says,
Hi,
"Hey,
Doug."
Okay. He says, "Hey guys, since you guys have been short on the emails, he sent this at the end of September, so yeah. I thought I would send one in. I may never attain the status of a Kojo, but I can try. Hey, everyone has to have a goal to shoot for." He says, "So thanks to you and all your countless hours of listening to the show, I am now a DM. I have a play-by-post game running, and I have to say I love being on this side of the screen. As I was thinking over the possible story threads in my game, I was annoyed at one of the classic monsters in the monster manual. So my question is, what the hell is a bugbear? What a kind of stupid-ass name is Bugbear, since considering it is neither a bug nor a bear. What the hell was Gygax thinking with that name?"
He wasn't thinking anything.
No, he wasn't.
Bugbear is a colloquialism, meaning the monster in your closet or under your bed. Yeah. It's kind of like saying bugaboo or something like that, or boogeyman. Bogeyman.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a bugbear. It's the same thing.
Right.
So it doesn't
Actually,
have to
its name is derived from a Middle English word boogie, which is B-U-G-G-E, which means a frightening thing, and the Old Welsh word of B-W-G of evil spirit or goblin.
And that also you also get boogeyman from that too.
Exactly. So okay.
So there
as long as you're staying away from the fey connotations of the origin of goblins, then you have the monstrous connotation of the goblin kin in all of its flavors, and that's the boogie bear.
Yeah.
In medieval England, the bugbear was depicted as a creepy bear that lurked in the woods to scare children. It was described in this manner in an English translation of a 1565 Italian play, The Bugbear.
And if it's fat and it plays piano, it's the Boogie Woogie Bear.
There you go.
Of Company B, yeah. Okay, his second question. Yeah, exactly. As I understand it, there's a progression of monsters of this ilk, something like Goblin or Hobgoblin Bugbear. Am I getting that right? Could you guys go over the differences, or does it not really matter? So thanks again, guys, for all the shows. I will be faithfully listening. Doug.
Okay, this is how it goes. Kobolds get beat on by goblins. Goblins get beat on by orcs. Orcs get beat on by hobgoblins.
Correct.
Hobgoblins get beat on by ogres, etc., etc. That's pretty much the pecking order right there.
Oh, well, there's actually
There's
in
branches.
the middle.
Bugbears and ogres stick in there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bugbears and ogres are more at the top of that food chain, but you put gnolls in the middle.
The strongest lead.
Yep.
Weaker ones get out of the way.
Yeah.
In any of those cases, if you have a smart one, he could be the one in charge of one of the bigger ones.
Yeah.
As long as he's smart and vicious.
I've seen many an orc tribe be led by a half orc.
Yeah.
Who's the smartest one in the whole damn tribe.
Well, not only that, but he has to be the strongest because he'll constantly be having challenges for his leadership. Yeah, it's true.
Right.
So
before Doug, I think the bugbears are on par with ogres, and maybe a stronger greater orc or orog or something of that ilk. That they don't beat on orcs, but obviously, if you read the bugbear, they're tribal, but they are tall. They're like 7 foot?
7 foot.
They're larger, and they have an excessive amount of militancy, and they're lawful evil. They have the they have the danger of organization. Ogres are mean one-on-one or three-on-one fighters.
Yeah.
Bugbears come at you in a legion of like 20 in a phalanx.
Mm-hmm. Well, the way I saw it is that bugbears more were the shock troops / heavy muscle for hobgoblin kings and stuff like that.
Yeah, even worse with them.
Yeah,
and we didn't even get into the gnolls.
Yeah, I mean, let's put it this way. What comes to mind for me is, and I know I'm going to step on a couple toes by mentioning it, but screw it. The Keep on the Borderlands novel, where basically, yeah, I know. Basically, the heroes go to the caves of chaos. They go after the kobolds first, then they go to the goblins, then they go to the orcs, then they go to the hobgoblins, then they go to the gnolls. And they just went up in stages. And once in a while, they actually took on a little more than they could chew. They almost got beat down by the ogre. But they actually were able to pull that victory out of their backsides. But, yeah, that's pretty much how it goes. That's the progression. And, with the Caves of Chaos and things like that, that's sort of that's an introduction. It's always been an introduction into, okay, you are first level adventurers, don't bite off too much. If you are having trouble with the orcs, go after the goblins or go after the kobolds. If you're having trouble with the goblins or the kobolds, you should retire and start and play another game.
Go after the dark squirrels. He has 3 hit points, more than the wizard in the party.
Hey, there's little flying things up at the. Hey, there's little flying things up at the tree. Why don't we attack those? No, those are sturges.
Yeah. Yeah, sturges.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So who was that? Was that all?
That was it. That was Doug.
Hey, Doug, thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
What else we got?
Corey,
you got one?
Yeah, I can do one of these.
Okay.
I think I'll take one of our favorite FDers.
Okay, go for it.
I'm gonna have to do the darts and slings.
I know. Go for it. Let's do it.
This is from our buddy FD.
Hey, FD.
Hey guys, DM Freddy, otherwise known as DMFP here, still slugging through the entire earlier episodes. It was really nice finally hearing DM Kojo on the mic. Very soft-spoken, but he offered some insightful and intuitive comments. In any event, Splatbook 65, you ask us for stories about darts and slings, and mine's a doozy. We were playing Undermountain, and I had a pretty vanilla first-level halfling fighter. He was a dart specialist, but with a 15 strength and 16 dex, nothing was too game-breaking. 17 THACO, 4 times per round at D3 damage. No big deal, right? Not sure if you guys are aware, about a dozen rooms into Undermountain, there's a large cache of gems totaling 6.8 million gold pieces worth of loot. The DM sort of led us into the room with some Mary Sue NPC. We find the cache of loot and take it back out. He says we will sell it at name value and distribute the shares among the 5 PCs. Or each guy gets 1.36 million gold apiece. We break for the evening, and he tells us we can basically go magic item shopping at will and arm our PCs so we can slug through Undermountain without too much risk involved. I was always the guy that had all the books and went back home and waded through the Encyclopedia Magica and spent several 100,000 gold pieces on my character. I was decked to the nines. I had several bags of holding, portable holes, quivers of Elona, filled to the brim with magic weapons and missiles. I had about 24 items that just summoned things to fight for me. Figurines of wondrous power, Jijin bottles, bag of tricks. I had the girdle of storm giant strength, items that buff my stats to 19s and 20s, tons of protective devices. I forget exactly what my AC was, but it was around negative 35 AC, no joke.
You know,
oh yes,
what?
The dart. Oh yes, the darts. A quote-unquote simple dart plus 6 was doing 1d3 plus 20 damage in my hands, and I could throw 4 of them. Darts of the Hornet's Nest, the plus 1 variety turns into 5d4 darts. Since I could throw 4 around, this means up to 80 darts in one round, each one with a plus 14 to damage. If I rolled impossibly well, that's 1,360 damage per round. Even rolling the minimum amount was 300 damage coming for me per round. In the first encounter in the back of the dungeon, I dropped some giants or something without even blinking. The DM got frustrated when he tried to hit me with a saving throw, and I passed on the 2 because of my protective devices. He got really sad and basically kept hamstringing my character, telling me I couldn't do things or I wasn't in position to do things. He got really passive-aggressive towards the end of the session, and we all showed up next week, where he decided we needed to play a new campaign with him with FD DMing. Thanks, guys. Can't wait for more.
Well, there's textbook example of Monty Hall.
Monty Hall, yeah. Monty Hall himself will be like, damn.
Well, I wouldn't say so much Monty Hall. I would say a DM that does not know not to give the players free reign with millions of gold pieces to buy what they want.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
He didn't put any magic in him. Well, I guess he did. He let him buy them, but yeah.
I think he felt that Undermountain, they needed it for Undermountain. Yes.
Yeah.
I played a short Undermountain campaign way back when, and we started at. He gave us characters that started at level 9.
Yeah, because Undermountain can be that deadly. It's true.
Yeah, but then again, it can be that boring too. If I'm using the reverse of heal constantly and just wiping people right and left, yeah. I was playing a 9th level cleric, and it's like, hurt, boom, boom, boom.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
after about the 3rd encounter, it's like, can we play something else?
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you don't keep a lid on what you give your characters. You know, I mean, yeah, I understand about Undermountain. I played in it myself. We were all averaging. I think I was the lowest level character in the group, and I was 7th level at the time. And yeah, it not only was it difficult, but yeah, there were some really interesting things in there that, you know, we found that made life a little bit. Let's put it this way: after we did our Undermountain run, where we actually spent 3 days in the Undermountain, and we actually found an alternate exit out of there, and we came down off of the mountain and got back into Waterdeep, and that's when we all decided we were going to go over to close to Impiltor and start becoming dragon hunters. And hey, we were actually pretty successful. That's the funny part about it. But yeah, I mean,
well,
first let's put the cat back in the bag and say,
good luck with that.
The raw math of your adventuring had some failures, minor, such as there are stacking and non-stacking bonuses and stacking and non-stacking armor class things, which you should be familiar with, that certain types of things do not add to other types of things, or they stated explicitly no other power trumps this power. It's this or nothing or something else, but not things added together.
Point of contention. The
Okay.
DM didn't say they didn't in his campaign world.
Yeah. You can take the caps off as a DM.
Yeah, you
If you don't like caps for lots of things, most people stick to the less argumentative things like racial level caps, not item adding up to infinity caps for bonuses.
Stacking is
No, this
really-
was not a D20ism prior to the D20ism, because even they have caps and limits. They don't let everything automatically multiply and add. So you didn't have plus 14 to damage, and you didn't have a negative 35 armor class. You hit negative 10 and it stopped.
In most games, yeah, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
The other thing that they did introduce around that time, because I fell victim to it too, I had a half ogre dagger throwing specialist who had, before we went to Undermountain, we had gone to Castle Greyhawk, so I had 4 arms and I spent extra weapon proficiencies on using my extra arms.
You had 4 arms?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't want to know.
That's the wacky Castle Greyhawk.
It's a Castle Greyhawk thing that happened. And then there was also the time that we spent in Mithranor that did other bad things. But then we went to Undermountain, not the other way around. But that, they discovered, oh yeah, you know that whole having the Girdle of Storm Giant Strength or the Gauntlets of Ogre Power and having the hurling weapons? They put a very reasonable cap into the game system, if you knew about it and recognized it when you read it, was that, you know what? hurled weapons have a cap of the die of the weapon for pluses.
Yep.
Otherwise, I was,
So if it's a D4, all you get is a
round
plus
burst
4.
on the 50 cal when I threw out daggers because it was getting the whole Storm Giant strength bonus to hurled weapons.
Yep.
Yeah, it's awesome. But if it's only a +4 cap, no matter if I've got +4 to damage for strength or +14 to damage for strength, it's still only +4 because it's just the size of the weapon, the mass of the weapon. You just can't make it go that much faster.
Right.
That's true.
Let's put it this way. I'll put it to you like this: if Full-On, who is power gamer extraordinaire, is kind of saying you got it wrong, you got it wrong.
I was doing it before they put the rule in on us. I did it too. But I took the rule with good grace and said, you know what, that's kind of reasonable.
Yeah,
I'll buy that.
Yeah, because otherwise you're just thinking. Yeah.
Corey.
Yes, sir.
You want to weigh in on this? You want to weigh in on this?
I'm with Full On. Things aren't supposed to stack that were stacked. It's a great concept. My problem doesn't start with the player. It starts with the DM.
The DM
and
allowed
FD,
it.
that's an awesome character. We've all had these characters. Trust me. I have a few in my closet that I'd be embarrassed to actually pull out at this point.
Hey, I already did. I put it on the camera and everything. Level 66 fighter, go.
And
I have a problem with DMs that don't realize how unbalancing the world is. For me, it's more of, okay, so yeah, there's enough gems in there to do 6.8 million gold piece value. Okay, well, after you flood the market for about 30,000 gold for 5 people, no one wants your gems. Nobody has any more money. Now you have a problem with Waterdeep's Gem Cutter Guild. Now you have a problem because did you take them to them to get them to cut them? No. This is where you have to start paying taxes.
Yeah.
Letting the characters have 6.8 million gold pieces is the fault of the DM.
For sure.
He got what he.
And as a DM, you shouldn't be a doormat.
No,
but you don't want to be the other side either. You don't want to be
stingy.
I'm 19th level, and we saw a +1 sword yesterday. An orc was using it to molest 2 of the paladins in the party, but we tried.
I mean, I come from experience. I've done that before just to please the players. I mean, it got so bad, my DM screen on the front, it said welcome. So, I can understand.
I understand it too, because the first time I ever DM'd, which was, oh God, what year was it? 1982, maybe even 83. I had 2 of my best friends. I decided to run a game for them, and yeah, I completely botched it. I didn't, by the time they started first level, by the time the first session ended, they were probably right around 6th or 7th with about 90-something hit points apiece, because I didn't think that when you rest, you don't gain hit points, you just go up to your maximum. Those are the kind of mistakes I made 30 years ago. Yeah, at least the DM kind of understood that, yeah, I think I let it go a little too far and decided, hey, Freddy, you run the game now. You run a game. I can't do this.
Game does not. You run the game. Do not let the game run you.
Exactly. I couldn't agree more.
Walking around with that much extra dimensional space on your person, you're a walking black hole bomb about to go off.
I know. I heard all that stuff. I heard all that magic and stuff, and the black hole, and the the portable holes, and the bags of holding, and the pluses, and this protectors. It's like I just want to put a fuse up his butt and light it, and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean that's all it would take. If you really wanted to. Blow everything to hell. Yeah, just have a freaking.
Do you remember that scene in that movie I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker, where I forget what he was loading like bandoleros and the stuff and the guns and stuff, and then he trips.
Yep.
And everything goes off.
Everything went off. Yep, I remember that.
Yeah, that's what I think about.
I totally get it. But yeah.
Anyway, thank you.
Yeah, all you need to do is just basically have a have a red dragon or something come along and breathe on him, and and if he breaks his save, and anyone can break a save, I don't care how many.
Okay.
Yeah, they were in Undermountain. They walked through disenchanting anti-magic walls.
Yeah,
there you go.
What are you gonna do?
Okay, the dragon breathes. Oh, you made your save, so you're okay. Now make about 35 saves for your equipment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or 50 saves. Yeah, something's gonna get ruined.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, thank you. Who was that again?
That was Freddie.
Thanks,
that was
Freddie.
FD.
Yeah, FD.
Okay, FD. Thank you. You got one more, Brian?
Yeah, I got one more. Let's see.
Okay.
That one's too long. We'll hold off on that one. Okay, this is a short and sweet one. This is more of a story than a question. This is from Joel.
We'll take it. Hi, Joel.
Okay, he says, podcasters. My longest running
Yes.
D&D character was an Abjurer, and it was that character that proved to my DM that mages don't suck. My fond memories of that Abjurer include jumping through a flaming door, cleverly escaping a red dragon's lair, being swallowed by a green dragon, throwing a fireball down his throat, thank you safeguarding spell, and truly being the scourge of the slave lords. Also, the filter spell is underrated and saved the entire party on several occasions. Joel. I'm like, okay.
Don't you love it? Don't you love it when, as a mage or a cleric, you find that one spell you can use all the time that'll save you butt?
Yep.
When I was doing the 5e game, I found mage armor, and it bumped me up to an AC. This is ascending AC again. It bumped me up to a 15, and it lasts for 8 hours.
Yeah, that's armor class. Well, that's equivalent of armor class 5. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, and and still. I'm going to whip that on me first thing in the morning.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's one of the better things mages should have is one of those kind of spells. So,
yeah.
I mean, but yeah, I mean, using spell.
Basically, I was playing cleric, and Bless got used a hell of a lot. Brad, who was playing a wizard, his thing was Phantasmal Force. He loved using that spell.
Yep.
Because he's got a dirty, devious mind like Full-On.
Yeah, well, yeah. See, that's the thing when it comes to illusions is that you have to have the imagination to go along with, just being able to cast a spell.
Illusions is kind of like a Green Lantern.
Kind of.
With the ring.
Yeah.
Anything you can think of. But you got to be able to think of it.
Yeah, think of it and have a complete picture of it in your mind. Otherwise, and have the spell ability to back it up. Because otherwise,
so you're basically a Green Lantern, yeah.
Yeah, because if you're a first level mage and you try using Phantasmal Force and you want to have a great worm red dragon, come out of nowhere, it's not going to look all that great because you don't have the spell ability to pull it off.
Right.
So yeah. So yeah, that's Joel. I'm just looking up this filter spell because I'm very curious about it. But
what was it called again?
Huh?
What was the spell again?
There's one called safeguarding, and the other one was called filter.
PH or F?
F.
F. Okay.
Yeah.
As in regular filter.
Yeah,
because I know there's
air conditioner filter. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Air conditioner filter. Well, you go ahead, and in the meantime, I'm going to say thank you guys for the emails, and don't forget to email us here at thacoshammer@gmail.com, and we have a phone number.
1-405-806-0555.
And that's Oklahoma area code, believe it or not.
It is.
I picked that so I'd have an even better chance of remembering it.
That's usually the best way to do it.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, while you're looking that up, I think we should saunter over to Getting Out of Dodge.
You leave town tonight, right now. And when you're gone, you stay gone, or you be gone.
There's nothing for me here now.
Let's do what one shepherd said to the other shepherd. What? Let's get the flock out of here.
Getting Out of Dodge.
Getting Out of Dodge. TSR number 9474, The Moon Sea, which is one of their region books for Forgotten Realms.
Correct.
It was written by, or rather designed by, John Terra. I love it. These things say, they always say, like, The Moon Sea by John Terra, and then it says design. Well, Are you the author? Did you design it? What?
That's a good question.
Yeah, and this was put out in 1995.
Correct.
Covered by Danilo and the interior art by Valerie Valzek.
That is correct. It comes with the classic TSR cover that's detached with maps in it, and 2 books, a player's guide and a reference guide for the DM.
Yep.
And it deals with that, a real interesting area of the Forgotten Realms.
Yes.
It was basically they're saying, why the hell would you ever want to go here? It's got storms all the time. It's got the Zentarum. It's got, bad stuff. And the thing it said in there, the reason they go is this is how adventurers, this is how they pay their dues, how they make their bones.
Exactly.
You go up there and make a name for yourself.
Yep, exactly. And there are quite a few areas in which you can do it, although when it comes to one particular city, unless you have a party of all humans, it may not go quite so well. But, the reason why I came up with this is because I was thinking about, while I was putting gas in my car earlier, I'm like, what kind of show can we come up with? Then I started thinking, I'm like, we haven't covered one of the ubiquitous campaign modules, which we'll get to in one of our next segments. But that's the original idea I had. I'm like, okay, I said, let's talk about Flan. I'm like, wait a minute, let's talk about the area. Flan's in the Moonsea. And I said, there's a lot of stuff that goes on here that, excuse me, that, like you said, the player characters pay their dues, make their bones, and they could actually, if they're ambitious enough and lucky enough and powerful enough, they can actually make major changes in the region. And God only knows there are a couple places they could use major change.
They're really working uphill with Zental Keep there.
Oh, yeah, good luck with that. Yeah, exactly.
And the Citadel of the Raven.
And Thar.
Yep.
Yeah,
and Forgotten Realms Thar, not the other Thar, but they're basically one and the same.
Yeah, kind of, sort of.
A lot of orcs. Plus, isn't they not too far away?
Very far away. The other direction and more farther southeast.
Yeah.
Well, at least you don't have to worry about that. Plus, we have ruins and dungeons and sea caves and very surly people. You ever seen an old black and white Universal horror film where they go into the village and they're all just running to their houses, or you walk in the pub and they just stare at you and
Yeah, you just know you're not welcome from the moment you come in. It's true.
Walk into Innsmouth bar and it's like, what are you doing here?
Yeah,
we're just people. Leave us alone. That kind of thing. Right. Filled with people like that.
Yeah, and
I think this is my favorite lake out of the 2 that are known in Faerun.
Which lake is that?
This is the Moonsea.
Oh, the Moon.
Yeah, the Sea of Dragons.
I got you. You said lake. I don't know.
Sorry. I didn't mean lake.
Thank you, Full-On.
Yeah, Full-On making Jim Cotta references. He's right,
Jim
though.
Cotta references, yeah.
He's exactly right. Yeah, but like I said, you've got just going to the major cities. You've got Hillsfar, which is run by a paranoid, racist leader who has who has a lot of power behind him. He's made it so that only humans are allowed in the town, no demi-humans at all, unless of course you're really good at disguising yourself. And this is one of those places where this is a town that needs a serious cleaning out for sure. And the guy who is in charge, whose name is Malthier, he's a 15th level wizard, neutral alignment, but he is completely ruthless, and it's just one of those things where he needs to be deposed because
he's a dick.
Yeah, big time. And the town would do a lot better for itself if it allowed demi-humans in, because that means more trade, which means more money flowing through the flowing through the town and things like that, but because of his shortcomings, it's not as good as it could be. So
Yeah, there are two things that go on through people's minds in the Moonsea. One, how much money can I make off you? And two, when are you going to get the hell out of here?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, strangers aren't exactly welcome around the Moonsea regions. It's true.
Which makes it all the more challenging.
Of course, because that's how most players see it, as a challenge rather than, okay, let's go to Waterdeep. It's a lot more urbane over there. Of course, you got Zenthal Keep, which has an interesting history, and basically that came about from being.
And this is pre-Trouble Zenthal Keep,
Yeah.
not Mr. Happy Dudley Do-Right. I'm really a demon Zenthal Keep.
Yeah, I mean.
So Manchun is still there, and the other guy, I can't think of his name right now. Vazul is still there. Followers of Bane, all that.
Yep, Bane, Malar, and Leviatar were most of the people in the city. Those are the gods that were followed. That should tell you all you need to know about the place.
Right.
People of the Moonsea cities are by nature plotters, informers, and spies.
Mm-hmm.
So you can just take like I don't know, certain Star Wars hive of scum and villainy and spread it over a whole area.
Yeah, make a whole city that way. Yes.
Yeah.
Make the whole region like that. I mean, you've got like I said, the Zentarum in this area, they've kind of really they've really got a pretty good grip on the Moonsea area. And they basically it started out decent enough, but it became corrupt over the centuries to where now it's like the Zentarum, they're trying always to grab power in various areas, and of course you have the groups like the Harpers that are trying to stop them and things like that. So you have
that's when they're not fighting each other in the religious schism that's going on in the city.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, the Harpers love to come in here and meddle.
Yeah.
They love to come in here and meddle.
Yeah.
If they can get a foothold here and just start messing stuff up, more power to them.
Mm-hmm.
So you can think of Hillsfar or Flan as Casablanca.
There we go.
Oh God, what would I think of Flan as? Because I was getting
Europe
I was getting
the scum of Europe has come here.
Yeah. I mean,
are they all trying to get visas to
the Sea of Fallen Stars? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, talking about Flan, that's the one that's, let's put it this way. This is Forgotten Realms' version of Keep on the Borderlands, except it's a lot more in depth, and we'll get into that.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
Depending on what era you decide to put this in, because the one era that's most popular with DMs and players, at least to my knowledge, is that Flan basically is one small area of the town. The rest of it is overrun with humanoids, and your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to basically go into each region and each block and clear it of humanoids, which is not easy and takes a long time.
Yep.
Go ahead. You were saying?
I was agreeing with you by saying yup.
Okay. Moving right along.
Fight or another bug hunt.
Yeah. Another.
And this
Hudson, sir. He's Hicks.
Yes, we have a lot of things in here. We have temple. They give each city gets a nice write-up.
Yes.
And maps.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe, let me take a look here. Oh, I thought they give you adventure ideas in the back.
Yeah, I mean, each one has, like
Yes,
you
they
said,
do.
a really good write-up, and and not all of the Moonsea is unfriendly, just most of it.
Yeah.
There are places like Elventree that are good.
It's a great place
Elmwood.
to do. Elmwood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there are some people. There are a lot of people. They're surly, but they just want to get on with their lives and go farming and stuff. So
Right. And adventurers are nothing but trouble. Exactly. And have
it's a great place for a pirate campaign.
Mm-hmm.
What you essentially have to do is look at, and you said it right, Full-on. Essentially, you have to look at the region kind of like war-torn Europe, and imagining visiting war-torn Europe and trying to talk to some people who've just had their houses shelled.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to be the friendliest to people.
No.
These guys are used to wars with the Zentirum, the Harpers. They're used to fights, and they don't want to be messed with. They don't want to deal with outsiders because for all they know, you're bringing the next trouble to their doorstep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's sure. We live under the evil overlord. He's on the hill over there. He's been that way for the last 20 years, and it's all right. We go on to tomorrow.
Yep.
It's Berlin in the 50s.
Yeah, kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
People living in half blown out houses and, ruins and, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No,
well, even that. The cities that are actually built up, walled, occupied cities under the rule of tyrants and despots, showing how lawful evil works.
Mm-hmm.
It works.
Oh,
mostly.
Yeah. It works.
And so will you till you die.
Yep, pretty much. So, I mean, I'm just going through it as we're talking. And as you go further on, you get to Thentia, and then they start going into, okay, what's the Harper influence? What's the Zentarum influence? They talk about any thieves, that are in the area, what's going on around each city, and I like this because, this is the only issue that I have, and they kind of go into it, is that, like you said, you can pretty much visit these areas at any era in the realms, and like Glenn's referenced a couple of times, the Time of Troubles is like the major realm-shaking event going, and of course that, goes with an edition, game edition change, but
right,
I mean, the way I look at it, I like the it's a great place to start wherever you want to start. I mean, you've got one particular place that has a Vault of the Dead that's run by a lich. I mean, you've got all kinds of challenges, both in game and role playing and things like that. I mean,
okay, here's something different.
Yeah, go for it.
The artwork I was going to ask Corey about. Hey, Corey, what do you think of that cover of some guy killing another guy with a loaf of bread?
I do find that hilarious. It's a little stiff, but it's better than I can paint. I'm going to tell you right off the bat. I'm not a painter. But, yeah, I think it's hilarious. It's just like the guy just wants left alone. Some thug's coming in to mess with him, and he's just trying to eat his damn dinner.
And jabs him right in the esophagus.
Yeah, he's just angry. He's like, look, I'm trying to eat. And he's like, I don't care. Give me your gold. You owe me taxes on breathing the king's air or Fizzle's air. Oh, yeah? Well, guess what? You're going to eat my bread.
In 5 seconds, I'm going to kill you with this loaf of bread.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think of the arts overall?
I mean, it's black and white. It's cool with me. I like it. What I don't like about this book are the big 1/5 length images. I don't know. They just don't look like they fit. At the beginning of each chapter, the West Branch, the North Coast.
Oh,
I don't like those.
You mean that one?
The column.
Yeah, the column on the right. Yeah.
Oh, I do like the maps. I love
they
the
are
fact
well done.
The maps look really good. The artwork's good. I mean, I like her work. It's just.
I mean, the column. What I love is they're trying to be woodcut, and it looks really great.
Yeah, you're right. It does look. It looks very woodcutty. Valerie's artwork is good. Some of her stuff is good. Some of it, I think she needs to sharpen the pencil a little bit more. Just no, I mean, when I say that, I mean when people do ink work or charcoal work, finer detail. If you let it get too dull, it gets smudgy. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, I'm just saying it. I like her finer art. Like on page 41, there's a picture of the two boats being built, two ships, black and white. That's an awesome image. Then you get to the one after it, and there's a whole bunch of people on the shore, and it just looks a little rougher than that other picture.
It does.
I'm just saying. Yeah. Other than that, yeah, there's some pretty good artwork in here.
I like the one on page 53 of the druid with his bear, with a wolf and a bear. That's actually pretty.
How many
cool.
fingers does he have on his right hand?
I knew he was gonna say that.
I can't tell. It's sort of balled into a fist.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah, that bear looks like he wants to talk to you about forest fires.
Only
What's his friend, Mr.
Moonsea supplement. You could follow along in the Grand Tour of the Realms in the Forgotten Realms campaign section guide.
Which I don't
Between
have.
pages 63 and 70 is the chapter for Moonsea. If you want a more stark summary of them.
I've got to get that box set. I forget which edition is the best, but the Forgotten Realms box set. I mean, but yeah, but the Moonsea does the job, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got a lot of. Have you ever used this full on? Have you ever used this book?
Oh, we have run rampant around the Moonsea. I've done it as a player much more than as a DM. Really, really embarrassing things done with the resettlement of the Orcs of Thar into the Honorok and stuff like that. And another raising of Zendel Keep. But
How many
everybody does that.
Everybody just raises it up. Oh man. How about you, Corey?
Yes, disgustingly amounts. We freed Ulash, I think, like 7 times through my campaign world. Because it keeps getting taken over by the Zentirum. I'm just saying, they free it and they're like, there, now stay free. And then they walk away and they come back a couple seasons later. And the Zentirum, they're like cockroaches. I will say,
what did Mr. Incredible say?
Of Forgotten Realms.
What did Mr. Incredible say in the movie? I just cleaned this place. Can it stay clean for 5 minutes?
Yeah. But in my campaign world, the town of Vunlar is a giant smoking crater. So yeah, we've gone through this like ad nauseum in my campaign.
Well, there it is, folks. The Moonsea Region book for Forgotten Realms, and at the time it retailed for $12.95.
Yeah, reasonably priced.
I bought my copy at Half Price Books for about $6-8. So,
I give it a 4.
Yeah, all the region books when you can find them, are incredibly cheap.
Yeah.
If you go to, if you're not going to some like ultra rare, ultra collector on eBay or something.
Right. Yeah, eBay should be your last resort.
I still got a few holes in my region books. So, go and tell us what you think of it, and tell us, if you've used it, how you've used it, and THACOshammer@gmail.com. And now we are moving on to people skills.
Pretty sure we have time to bury them fellas. Hell with them fellas. Buzzards gotta eat, same as worms.
How can you shoot women, children? Easy. You just don't lead them so much. Ain't war hell?
When shall I find a new adversary so close to my own level?
Try the local sewer.
People skills.
People skills. That's for the voyeur in us.
Yeah.
This is a splat book, Warriors and Priests of the Realms.
Right. And there's
mainly the Warriors of the Moonsea.
Correct.
Give me the lowdown on this splat, because that's one I do not own. I don't have any of the campaign splat books.
Right. Yeah. Neither do I. But the overview goes as such.
Well, wait a minute. Full on. You got the book right in front of you. Tell us who.
Yeah.
This is for $20 US. You could get number 9509 of the TSR line, Warriors and Priests of the Realms.
And who are the culprits who did this?
John Terra is the name on the cover. But you also got editing by Stephen Shend. You got Thomas Reed and David Wise coordinated. You got interior artists Ned Dameron and John Dollar. Graphics Bob Gallica. Dave Conant as pre-press coordination and typography. Names that are just in and about, but other things that have to do with the pages.
What's
other names
what's the copyright date on that?
Copyright date on this is...
I think it's 96, but I'm not sure. Let me roll back up to the beginning.
Yep, 96.
Okay. Wow.
96 TSR.
So we're getting near the end of the splat books, but See, that's another thing. I can always tell when the region splat books start coming out. Okay, we're getting near the end of the line.
Perhaps, but I mean, they
There's
still
some
had
good
more
stuff still coming out, but
right. Yeah,
Mhm.
they're starting to get towards the end because they did the white splat book for Forgotten Realms, did it for Dragonlance, they did it for another campaign world. I'm having difficulty thinking about it. Then they did a few for Dark Sun and for Spelljammer and things like that. But yeah.
Right.
All right, going to the actual kit. It says in the overview, just as the Moonsea region itself is a harsh place filled with danger and betrayal, the native Moonsea warriors are a harsh, sullen lot, toughened by the bad climate and all too brutal enemies. While it is true that not all Moon Eyes, which is the derogatory term for people who live in the Moonsea, are this way, it is by far the norm.
Right.
They basically say that the role playing, if you're role playing a warrior of the Moonsea, basically, is they say the Moonsea is harsh and unforgiving, and the same can be said of her people. Uh, in the past, the typical Moonsea warrior had to defend his city against numerous humanoid raids from the north, and if the monsters were not enough, there were always threats from fellow citizens, especially those of Zental Keep. So they're basically battle weary, cynical, and that kind of thing. So that's kind of how it should be role played.
Right.
Moonsea warriors are hardly what would anyone call a conversationalist. They can be dour and taciturn or taciturn. I can never remember the proper
Taciturn.
Okay, so that's correct. Okay, as any dwarf. Wow, that's saying something. And the sullen silence does little to endear the Moon Eyes to outsiders. A certain cold-hearted practicality rules in the Moonsea warrior's heart. Such a warrior has no qualms about betraying, waylaying, or killing anyone outright who stands in their way. They accept that life is harsh and unfair, and they act accordingly. The interesting thing about this is that the advantages they get. Now, it all depends on the region from the character that you're going to take this kit with hails from. Like Zental Keep. They basically say in 1368, Zental Keep was attacked and reduced mostly to ruin. They started rebuilding in 1369. Warriors in Zental Keep are either Zentalar or they're freelance fighters from the Keep. If you are a Zentalar, you start with a full suit of banded mail armor, a medium shield, and a single melee weapon of choice, and get unlimited access into and out of the keep. So you kind of have a base. So you don't have to spend your starting gold on armor and weapons because you have armor.
You got your equipment.
Yeah. Freelance Zent warriors get no equipment beyond the normal amount purchased by their starting funds. However, they get local history. NWP as a bonus about Zental Keep. So, that relates to their understanding about all the events leading up to and following the destruction of the keep. Hillsfar.
It should probably be mentioned that if you're going to take the Zentalar armor package, you're coming with Zentalar branding.
Yeah.
You're badged, you're emblemed, you are labeled, you are a Zent.
Yeah.
In deed and action.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you like tattoos.
Yeah, exactly.
With a trade stamp on your head.
Yeah, it even says here in the disadvantages, if you are from Zental Keep, all NPCs encountered by a Zental Keep warrior is the reaction is -4. That's pretty steep. Because you're starting as you're starting from a negative because Zental Keep has such a nasty reputation, especially around the Moonsea. Let's see. Any red plumes from Hillsfar will attack Zentalar on sight. Any warriors cannot be good aligned and should not be considered as a PC kit. So
I want to see what happens when they walk into Cormyr at Purple Dragons would love.
I have this very awesome uniform. It's all black with silver trim, and I have lightning bolts on it for Thor.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that's Thor, yeah.
That's basically walking. That's basically would be like walking through the state of Israel in an SS uniform. That's what that would be.
Yeah, I'm here to see King Azun.
Yeah.
Why are you putting stuff at me?
Yeah, because you're a Zent. We don't like you. We don't trust you. Now leave or die. Anyway, warriors from Hillsfar. They're either independents or members of the Red Plumes, the armed forces of Hillsfar. Uh, if you start as a Red Plume, you get a suit of chainmail, a shield, and a single melee weapon, and they can come and go from Hillsfar at will. Independent warriors are very alert against magic, given magic's tight regulation in Hillsfar. Yeah, Hillsfar is not a good place to go. I'm sorry. As a result, they get a +1 bonus on saving throw versus spells. Let's see. The drawbacks: they cannot be of good alignment. They cannot learn any demi-human tongue. Zentalar and warriors from Mulmaster will attack Red Plumes on sight. All NPC counters are at a -2, -4 for demi-humans because of Hillsfar's bad reputation. That's the reason why PCs
So
need
they
to.
can't be good aligned, he said?
No, they cannot.
Yes.
So you
Cannot
could
be
probably
good aligned and can't learn any demi-human tongue.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, if you're abolishing evil for player characters in your campaign, that's kind of a
well.
nope,
You can run them as neutral. You can run lawful neutral, chaotic neutral, that kind of thing if you really wanted to.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Damn 9-point alignment system.
Yeah. Let's see. From Mulmaster, the aptly named City of Danger produces lethal fighters who survive at any cost. Each Mulman warrior is thus hard to surprise. They're only surprised on 1 to 2 instead of 1 to 3 on a D10. So basically, they have a +1 to their surprise checks. Yeah. The disadvantage is that NPCs are penalized by -2, or excuse me, PCs are penalized by -2 in all NPC encounters, and Red Plumes will attack them on sight. So, just going around the Moonsea, if you're from a particular region, if you run into, a warrior from another region, yeah, you can be expected to fight right away because, yeah.
There's a reason that so far we've gone through 1, 2, 3, and the third one says NPCs of the third evil Moonsea city.
Yeah.
So it's not just people with attitude cities. These are the 3 evil cities that get named as such in a call-out.
Yep.
Not just, and there's people who've had a rough life.
Yeah.
Hey, stop hitting me. I just found a suit.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a reason why people don't wear Zental armor, or they paint over it as soon as they can. There's a reason for that. Ventia. Ventia is a far less sinister city than the other 3 above. It is fiercely independent with a liberal government. All Thentian warriors begin with an extra non-weapon proficiency, and starting equipment prices are cut by 5%, which is actually pretty nice. Let's see, the drawback to that is that they only have the normal Moonsea native bias to overcome, so they only have a -2 reaction adjustment with dealing with Red Plumes or Mulmaster warriors. Thieves picking
Then there's going to be any other area you go into, you're going to be like a magnet for unsavory types.
Yes, exactly. Or even just normal people, just walking up to you, they see where you're from, yeah, they don't like you. And also Thentian warriors, any thieves picking their pockets get a +10 bonus chance to success because of a lax attitude for not having to deal with thieves in their city. So then there's that. So now
if you're from Zento Keep, you get to say, "Forsooth, what set doth thou claim, my homie?" It's a gang war, right?
Are you kidding me? Really?
Yeah, I went there. Sorry.
Then again, they probably get laid a lot.
Maybe.
There's all those barmaids and women out there who like the bad boys.
I don't know, because they're pretty nasty themselves. I only wish that they had gone a little further with this and actually included most of the other towns and cities. I mean, you could probably, as a DM, extrapolate from what the examples here and probably fill it out, like, Warriors of Flan, or Warriors of Elventree or something like that. You could probably do that, but that would be cool.
Yeah, I think it was left open for the DM to actually create his own. So if you could take the Mole Master template and put it towards one that's neighboring close to it, I guess.
Correct. With this kit, you have to have a strength of 11. That's that's above and beyond the 9 minimum strength for fighter. Yeah.
Army training.
Yeah, pretty much. Whatever training the town.
They're not going to take you. They're not going to take you if you're a wimp.
Exactly. I agree. So it's a nice. It's more. I like the little bonuses you get, and they're pretty much balanced off by the disadvantages you get. But I like the role playing aspects that these people are quiet, sullen, cynical, and they cut your throat as soon as look at you. Yeah, exactly. You get in their way, and they'll cut your throat without thinking twice about it. It's kind of cool.
And note that they also just kind of have a traditional feel of each of these cities. There's a reason that those are the towns that are called out in the Warriors and Priests of the Realms.
Mm-hmm.
If you want the other sections of the Moonsea, they tend to other classes, hence a reason to sell Wizards and Rogues of the Realm. That's where you'll find Clan. That's where you're going to find, Ordulin and Selgant.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, Hillsfar. Melvant, Flan, they get mentioned out.
Mm-hmm.
You still see Hillsfar and stuff.
And if anybody has those splat books out there, I don't, so maybe we can make a deal.
I mean, I like it because
out there.
I like this as a concept because this is something that was kind of new that they decided to use, and Forgotten Realms, of course, was the best place to start it from. But I kind of like that, you could be a fighter from here or from there, and there are some places or some other regions where you can't go because you'll get attacked on sight because of where you're from.
Right.
And the armor you're wearing and things like that. I like that. That's kind of cool. It gives a nice little dark, gritty edge to it.
Indeed, it does.
Mm-hmm.
And you said it retailed for how much at the time, full on, the book?
$20. $20 to get you Wizards and Priests of the Warriors and Priests of the Realms. Wizards and Rogues was $15. $15.
And today's price, you get them for about $6 to $8.
Mm-hmm. Unless
$50 bill. $50 bill.
What? I love you. I love you so much. I love you, real good, Joe.
Corey's half Asian. He can get away with that.
Yeah, well, I'm half ass, so I can get away with it too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, being Irish helps. Anyway, tell us all about the books, folks, at THACO@gmail.com. And number 405
806-0555.
There you go.
Thank you. I was going to try to squeeze it out before Corey, but it probably screwed up.
Just kind of got stuck.
More or less, yeah, it's just stuck in my throat. Let's go into DM's rag.
Journey now to an age undreamed of. An age of mystery and magic.
You are a worthy opponent.
5. Oh, great. So you got an arrow right in your chest, and you're out 10 melee. Oh, no. Don't worry about it, Mike. I got resurrection. I'm already one of the undead, Greg. I can still throw death spells, huh, Steve?
The DM's rag.
DM's rag, TSR 9238, Ruins of Adventure.
Mm-hmm.
By a bunch of people.
Yep.
An accessory for characters of all levels for use with the Forgotten Realms fantasy world.
Yep.
That's right.
Okay.
I love covers that say all levels.
Well, I don't know if it could be all levels, but I'd put it like levels 1 to 10 maybe. Okay.
That's a good spread. That's an
excellent spread. I mean, like I said, this is one of the... I'm glad they decided to do this because, okay, let's give a little past history.
Okay. Go Before
on.
you get into that,
go on.
I do want to make the caveat and disclaimer that this is a 1E book.
Correct, but because it's in the Moonsea, in Flan in particular, I decided to use it. So,
I'm just saying out there where you... Full disclosure here.
Yeah,
we're not trying to step on your RFI. We're not trying to step on your toes.
Yeah, I don't think those guys like Forgotten Realms much anyway, but I digress. Anyway.
But I will tickle them.
What did you say?
You said you're not stepping on any toes. I said, but I will tickle them.
Okay. This was put out in 1988, so
Correct.
it was
This is
before 2.8.
This is like 1 year before second edition came out.
Right.
Now, in 1988, they also TSR partnered with SSI, and they made uh, these officially licensed games, which are affectionately known as the Gold Box. Yes, Gold Box. Exactly. Oh, and by the way, there is a company, I think they call themselves TSI. They're going to be remaking them. Yes.
That is correct. All 12 boxes.
Yes.
Now, this book is the, if you want to play Pool of Radiance and not on the computer at the game table, this is the book to get.
Yes, exactly.
Now, ordinarily, say adaptions of things like video games would go,
Yeah.
But listen to the lineup here: James Ward, Zeb Cook, Steve Witter, and Mike Barreau.
Yep, exactly. I mean, they
even go on to say that this is a multimedia campaign blitz in the first incarnation because players of Pool of Radiance will find useful clues to the successful completion.
Which is why I bought
mission in this module.
Which is why I bought it back in 1988, and I'm not ashamed to admit it.
Which was part of the reason why Dragonlance got such a big push.
Yeah, that too. That came along at the right time.
Dragonlance was all about multimedia. What are you talking about?
This is true. But yeah, so the first game in the Gold Box series was called Pool of Radiance, and that took you from level 1 to level 8, and then you went on to Azure Bonds and then Secret of Silver Blades, and then of course Pools of Darkness. But yeah, this one was set in Flan, which is a small town on the Moonsea in Forgotten Realms. And this place was basically completely besieged and pushed against the water by an humanoid incursion, which was also which was basically being initiated by this evil sort of quasi deity being called Tyrant Thraxus. So basically what happened is that the city of Flan it's basically set up in different oh god, what are they called? Districts. I'll call them districts. And each district,
you call them districts.
Yeah, districts, and each one was taken over by humanoids, and Flan is desperate because they're basically pushed, like I said, in one particular district, but it's pushed right up against the shore of the Moonsea. So if they get invaded, that's pretty much it. So they pretty much put out the message they want adventurers to come and help reclaim Flan, to their rightful owners. So like I said, you start off in the little, in this little section of town, and you can go, you have little missions that the council will put you on, and you go to different areas and go here and retrieve these documents from this house, or go here and just you take out these orcs or these ogres or these kobolds or whatever. It's like I said in the last segment, this adventure is a major campaign adventure. You will not take care of it in one segment, or not one segment, one session, excuse me. This is one that you can basically be doing it guerrilla style and doing raids and sorties and things like that for months, not only in game time, but also in real time.
If the Moonsea as a concept is World War II Europe, this is the Siege of Stalingrad.
Yes. Very, very well put, Full-On. Very well put. I mean,
very well organized. Very well organized, too. You know what I like about this? One of the things I like about this book is the whole big random encounter section in the back.
Yes, it's massive.
For every area.
Yes.
For every area. I would print this out and use it for other stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And they give a nice little list of, the major players in this module. You have the Porphyris Cadorna, who is the last scion of the Cadorna family, and he's going to be one of the central antagonists and motivating factors for the party. Now he's a normal human. This is one of those where, no, he's not a 10th level wizard, he's not a 12th level fighter, he's not a 15th level cleric. He is just a regular human, but
albeit a very rich and influential human.
That was my point. He wields massive amounts of influence within the town of Flan, and he will use, if you run afoul of him, and you most likely will, he will use that influence to seriously hamper the party.
Yeah.
And that's all it comes down to.
Now here's something. I'm looking at the orc camp. And looking at the map, and I don't remember orcs being organized enough to lay out a camp as a hex.
Orcs are lawful evil with average intelligence. They could do it. Sure.
And a slave pen that is also a hex.
Yes.
Just seems illogical, that's all.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I didn't say it was impossible, I just said it's illogical.
Well, it is. Who knows why they do what they do. Yeah. And like I said, they have a nice cross section of NPCs that can either help the party in their endeavors, or be opponents to the party, or even train the party, in going up in levels and stuff like that. I like this because this is one of those where, this is the Siege of Stalingrad, like Full-On said. There are so many different ways you can go with this. Only thing I would do is just take some of the things that are in here and, just bring them up to second edition spec and just go with it. I would love to run this at some point.
That's easy to do. You just put a THACO on it, slap it on his butt, and get it into the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I like the idea of this as what I always do with most of the printed modules and published stuff is you can take parts of this out and put it anywhere, and it makes great setting for like the pyramid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the pyramid
is awesome. You can take it out, put it wherever you want. Boom, it's there.
Yeah. That's a great.
It's got a lot of good resources in here, like you said.
Aside from what I said about the orc camp, it is a good example of a typical orc camp.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And I think I've got to say, this is a video game, film, whatever, adaptation done right.
Adaptation, yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
This. I'd almost say that they may have written this first and then made the game from it, because there's a lot more to this than what's in the game. That's only because the limitation of computers at the time. We're talking 1988. We're 25 plus years removed from that. God, are we old? But
no, the computers are old.
Something else to keep in mind about this is because of the layout.
Mm-hmm.
This is not an adventure to open page 1, adventure until you hit page 50.
No,
it is
open-ended.
Not level sequential order. Mm-hmm. They have little caveats or notes at the beginning of the adventure chapters where they talk about, hey, this is an adventure they should do after they've maybe hit 5th level, or hey, this is an adventure they should do after they have cleared the textile mill, hey, and should be 3rd level or whatever. Pay special attention to these notes.
Yeah.
If you're not averse to writing notes in your books, you may even want to start putting like levels down in the margin at the bottom to say
that's a really good idea.
Yeah,
because you don't want to get mixed up and overpower a party with a section, or let them walk into a cakewalk zone. And they're not going to be in level chronological order, but that doesn't mean you have to encounter them in level chronological order either.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I totally agree. And the thing is that now this is something that not a lot of DMs like too much, and I'm certain a majority of players don't like, but in most of these missions, an NPC will want to, or they will be the driving force going to, like, say, Kudo's Well or the textile mill or something like that.
Right.
And you will have an NPC going with you. Now, as a DM myself, I have no problem with it. You guys have listened to Hammers of the Duchy. I have no problem with it. But
right.
But at the very least, it's one of those where where you will have you can actually also recruit other NPCs to help fill out your party if you're missing a fighter or you're missing a cleric or something like that. There are different, wonderful small little paragraph NPCs that they tell you what their class is, what their alignment is, kind of what their personality is, and what their motivations are. And you can, as a DM, you could just play off of that and keep right on going with the adventure.
And another great Clyde Caldwell cover.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's one
this
of the better
is
ones.
kind of
Hey, let's not forget about Jimmy Jam Holloway's artwork on the interior.
Yeah.
Very awesome, classic stuff.
Yeah.
Sparse, mostly maps and stuff, sparse artwork, but what is there is golden.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
Oh yeah, Holloway. Yeah, I love Holloway.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I like going through the Spelljammer box set. Everything's by Holloway, except for the cover of the box.
Mm-hmm. And that's. Go ahead.
No, I'm done.
Okay, and like Full On said, it's not to be done from beginning to end. It starts here. It could go there. It all depends on pretty much the DM just has to keep an eye on how his parties how the PCs are progressing. And if, they're having too easy of a time of it, there is a little section in here that says, okay, there is going to be an ambush here, as the party's going from, say, like, going from the one little district of Flan going to, say, like, the textile house, and they have to pass through a couple of different districts to get to it. So It's one of those where the party is almost always in danger, and there's only one pretty much safe place to go.
Well, I've already found one thing I'm stealing.
What's that?
Valhagen Graveyard.
The graveyard, yes. Oh.
The graveyard is not. I even like the map, even though they should have made the squares a little lighter, but it's like, okay, this is skeletons and stuff. Mm-hmm. This area is zombies. This area is what? It's like, I like that.
Yeah, this is one of those where, you have to kind of get what you need done in the graveyard done pretty quickly, because you could be basically attrited by the constant encounters.
Warrior is about to die.
Yeah. Valkyrie needs food badly. Yeah, exactly. Because there is especially once you get towards the inside where you're actually meant to go, because that's dominated by whites. So you're dealing with energy drain at that point. So it can get pretty nasty. True. And
that was nice use of the word attrited, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Sometimes my English works really good. But yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. And so as you go through and clear out each level, of course, each region, of course, at some point you have to go to Valhalla Castle, which is where Tyrant Thraxus is, where all his minions are, and that's pretty much going towards the final battle in the module. And you are going up against NPCs, who serve Tyrant Thraxus. You're going up against gnolls. I mean, Valhalla Castle is huge.
This sounds like a Night Below warm-up.
Might as well be. But and as you work through it, you're dealing with all kinds of monsters, Medusae and things like that. And once you get to and another thing, speaking of the artwork, there's a wonderful isometric view of the city of Flan. It is awesome. I love it, because that shows you pretty much what it all looks like, where the graveyard is, where Stojano Gate is, where Portal Plaza is. I'm looking. I don't think these things don't have page
49.
numbers. 49. Okay.
50.
Yeah, 49, 50. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, as you're going, like you said, you are hacking your way through at the end, because you are dealing with higher level characters like 6th level, 7th level, 8th level in some spots, 10th level in a couple of spots. And
oh yeah,
They
that's
have
nice.
others that are listed as here's your encounter, and there will always be the same number of clerics as there are party members, and the highest level one will be 2 levels higher than the highest party member.
yeah, it gets
That's the left and right limit you're given as a GM. Go.
it gets really tough at the end.
Make them high enough they can do the raising.
You know, and not only do you have stuff in Flan, but you also have the Sorcerer's Island, which you can clear out and gain some things and, you know, help out. Then there's the river, you know, which a druid will come up to you and say the river's flowing black. You know, I've heard you are very successful. Take care of this and things like that. You know, I mean, go ahead.
And if you run out of stuff to do, we can always plunk the Isle of Dread somewhere.
If you really wanted to, I guess. But you know, I mean, there's even a Thrycreen village in here.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, this has a lot of variety as to the monsters and situations the party gets themselves in. You know.
And all of this for in the day $8.95.
Exactly. This is a mega module.
A bargain at any price.
Yeah, it's a mega module for sure.
Yeah, but it's not a mega module. Doesn't feel like a mega module.
No.
To me, it reminds me of like Castle Caldwell and Beyond. They had like a bunch of interconnected stories.
Right, except it's just a lot bigger.
Yeah, but it all leads up to the big bad and everything. But anyway, folks, I've figured about $5 now in the used market.
Maybe
yeah,
5.
You can find it.
Yeah, you can
$5,
find
$6.
it easily enough.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Anyway, tell us about thacoshammer@gmail.com, and let us move on to our final section, which is Loaded for Bear.
What the hell's wrong with you? Put your gear on. I said put your gear on.
I'd like to keep this handy. Close encounters.
I heard that.
What do you do, sleep with that thing on your pillow?
I would if I slept.
I say we take off and nuke the entire site from orbit. It's the only way to be sure.
Loaded for Bear.
Okay, Loaded for Bear. We're going to talk about exotic armors, magical or rare racial armors, and things like that. Kind of a freeform type of thing.
Exactly.
Exotic armors. We're not talking your usual like +1 or +2 chain or something like that.
Yeah.
We're talking like, okay, this armor makes you invincible, but then you got to go kill a bear or something for the blood, or I don't know,
exactly.
something like that.
You know,
they might.
Go ahead.
No, I was thinking, they have intelligent swords and intelligent weapons. Do they have intelligent armor?
I don't see
I've
why
done
not.
that to players.
What was that, Full-On?
I've done that to players.
Have you?
Yes.
How?
Same system that you use to create magical swords, used to create magical armors, and if you get the right kind of roll, you get an intelligent item. If you also are making it through everything that you make through psionic methods is an intelligent item. Sneaky little rule you may not have known about.
Yeah, that's something I think I've heard of that, but I just never heard anybody reference it before. Wow.
It's an easy, cheap way to make magic items, but you end up with the after effects of they now have personality.
Yes, exactly. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. I've completely forgot.
So
about
that's how Joan of Arc heard her voices.
Maybe.
Okay.
Or
through her armor.
Maybe her armor and her sword were arguing through her.
Or she was just bat-ass crazy. But either way, one of the more, just in my experience as a player in DM, when I went through the old Rolaids module Sword Thrust, which was it looked like just a normal dungeon delve, but it had a nice little twist to it, and you were finding pieces of a suit of armor as you were going through the dungeon, and once you assembled it fully, then you found out at some point that you were not in an actual dungeon. You were basically going through a Titan's brain.
Oh,
yeah, and depending on what you did in that module, the Titan would be good aligned or evilly aligned, and then you dealt with the consequences thereof.
Okay, that's a little too weird and creepy for me.
But the suit.
But that's rolling.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was kind of weird. But the suit of armor I liked because each piece had a different magical effect that, once you don the piece, you were able to use it or it benefited your character. And I used that concept to create the martial arts suit of prowess the exact same way. Corey, you were gonna say something?
It's like the mythical suit of the armor of Mars. Each piece gives you more and more power.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And that's pretty much what I came up with. Um, Another thing was there was an article in Dragon magazine. I can't remember which one, but it's somewhere in the 200s. But it basically had they had different suits of armor. Like there was one for like royal guards, which looked more just like cloth tunics, but they gave you like an armor class of 3. There was one that was actually made of living bugs.
Living bugs?
Yeah, suit of armor that was made of living bugs that covered you from head to foot.
Okay, I'm grossed out now.
Hey, gave you an armor class like 0.
I guess I could live with a little creeping and crawling on my body.
Yeah.
It's not like Fear Factor or anything.
Yeah, exactly. As long as it kept you alive, right?
Right.
Yeah. Right. But yeah, I mean, but using even just going beyond the normal adamantite and like meteoric iron for using like +4 and +5 armors and stuff like that, or mithril or adamantine or whatever.
Well, we have more than that.
Go
Are we
for it.
still sticking with the realms here? Because I've got a book to answer all your questions for that. It's called All Things Magical. Yeah, man.
Uh-oh.
Well, let's talk about a Hizakur sword or shield.
Okay. What's that? Lay it on me.
Well, it's an extremely rare metal that, if it's successfully transformed into a metal, it must be cast, worked, or forged into final form within a day, and thereafter can never be worked again. It is unsuitable for the crafting of magical items or items that are to be worn because once it's been cooled and after it's been worked, it reflects all magic cast at it at 100% back to the source and deals 2d12 points of electrical damage per touch to all beings coming in contact with it.
Jeez.
That's not an artifact. Nah.
No, not even. That's about as close as you can get without it actually being one. Wow.
Yeah.
So I went looking through my Dragon mags, and in annual 1996. The 1996 annual, page 31, Bizarre the Bizarre.
Yes.
They have different armors. They have the Rabak armor, which is a forest-dwelling wooden type armor for druids or rangers. They have the Sindar web armor, which is comprised of calcified spider webs, obviously for elves or drow. They have the Asherian armor, which is like crab plate and sea-bearing armor. And then they have that Soul armor, which were the masters of nature, but they used insects, and it was the bug armor.
The bug armor. That's what I was thinking
right here.
of.
I'll put the pictures up here so y'all see them.
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, there's the bug armor on the left. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. It's pretty nasty looking. But there was one that was basically just little things of light. There's that picture, Corey. They had that one with the chick. Yeah, that one. Yeah, check that.
Armor of the Ventadari. In AD&D worlds, attacks aren't only physical, some are also magical. Very few armor designs can successfully counter magic. Only 4 sets of the armor were ever created, possibly the most powerful armors ever created. They were worn by the Ventadari, all-female guard of the Wind Lord. 2 were destroyed during attempted assassination. Yeah, these are pretty gross. Base AC of 0, 50% resistance to all spells and spell-like effects. Yeah, it's pretty gross and exotic armor here.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Just, those kind of weird out there kinds of suits are. I mean, let's put it this way. My former DM, Krista, who's, on Facebook, hey Krista, I know you listen.
Why? Anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Broken thought here.
She used to have Cylons in her campaign and have that armor, which was like armor class 0 that we had to go up against.
Here come the silver Darth Vaders.
Yep, exactly. Or the gold Darth Vaders, which was worse.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he had stuff like that. I mean, the possibilities are pretty much endless if you've got the imagination, but even more so if you've got the supplements like the ones that Corey brought to light or the ones that Full On brought to light, where you have examples and you can take what's there and kind of go off on a tangent with it and see what you come up with. That's the best inspiration to me.
So much fun with the Diablo supplement.
Oh
yeah.
boy. I almost cursed. Oh boy. Yeah. Yeah.
The Diablo 2 supplement where everything can be created. All it is tables of how to make magic items, and the name imparts the power that it has. Column A, column B, column C, column D is a thing. There you go.
Yep.
Could be armor, could be weapon, could be other widget of the ish.
Now, are you talking the Diablo 2 source book for D&D, the second edition one?
Yes, that.
Oh yeah.
That along with the Encyclopedia Magica, just a formula to go insane. Please don't let it go back to FD's DM table.
Yeah.
They would break the continuum if they did this, but you can have some quite unique items appear.
Yeah, for sure, without a doubt. I mean, I've seen those tables, and I remember I was going to buy that book, at my local gaming store back in, when I was living in Orlando, and I looked at it and I'm like, no. I have a couple of power gamers at my table. If I even let that be seen in my bookcase, that would be too much. Because they would be like, we need this. We must have this. Yeah.
So I can make the cursed dagger of butt picking?
If you wanted to.
Oh, that'd be nice putting it down.
I would have to. I'm kind of looking for a version of those books. They're full on those Diablo books.
I think we have.
There's only one. There was only one of them, wasn't there?
Yes, only one. As far as I know, I could be wrong about that. But I'm looking for it right now.
I keep thinking they did a Doom book too, but I know they didn't do
God,
that.
Can you imagine that? If you're gonna do Doom, why not do Wolfenstein? Let's see.
That's called certain incarnations of D6 and D20 Star Wars. You can do that.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, the Diablo 2 adventure game, TSR stock number 11548, and also Diablo 2 The Awakening, TSR 11612.
They did two of them?
Yes, they did two. Yes, they did.
And these are just source books, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be supplements?
Yes.
You said 1-1.
1-1. Oh, hold on. Let me pull up my everything again. That is
now you got me.
11548. That's the Diablo 2 adventure game, and then they did.
Nope, didn't get it.
Yeah, then they did the adventure, which was the Awakening, which is 11612.
And then between those and any other items you get, like either the Tome of Magic or some of those third-party producers that started coming out with books, either for second or for third, and just backwards engineer it into a 2E product, you can get things from those DM Toolbox type books that, why does it always have to be a sword? What if it's a bow? Why does it always have to be a bow? Why can't it be a crossbow? Why not an axe?
Oh,
or
what?
a rapier, or anything else?
Well, let's put this. I was just looking at the Diablo 2 supplement. In the beginning, they have a little chart which actually explains what ability checks are, saving throws, what a good roll is for ability checks, hits, damage, and saves, and whether you should roll high or low. You know what? They should have put this in. Although this is at the end of second edition anyway, I think this is 1999. Actually it is 1999, and it gives like the thing for fighting who goes first, rolling an attack, character skills, DM laws, and things like. I love this. I wish they'd put this.
They were shoehorning in a special niche audience. They were trying to reprogram computer gamers.
Yeah, this is the first attempt.
Politely.
Yeah, politely, exactly. They did very well with it, I must say.
I was looking at the Diablo 2: The Awakening.
Mm-hmm.
It says here it came out before Diablo 2 itself was released. Since the game was released later, it contains content not available in the PC game.
Correct.
Interesting.
And that's how it was with, like, when we were talking about Pool of Radiance. That's how it was with Ruins of Adventure. There's stuff in there that isn't in Pool of Radiance because they only had so much room. I mean, God, the Pool of Radiance game was 4 double-sided 5 1/4-inch discs, which was almost unheard of at the time.
Anyway, we were talking about
armors and stuff. Yeah, we got off on a tangent.
Weirdness. Yes, making strange items.
Yes. Yeah, making.
This could be as simple as you don't have to have the powers of the staff in the staff. You could have the powers of the staff in the ring. You don't have to have the powers of the ring in the ring. You could have the powers of the ring in a wand.
Yep.
Or in anything else you wear, a brooch.
Yep. Yeah, I know the vessel with the pestle, and yeah.
Swallow the cat that ate the rat. Yeah.
Yeah. He died, of course. But anyway, so let's talk about racial armors.
Yeah. Let's see.
Elves do a nice line in Mithril.
Oh yeah, dwarves do a wonderful job. Gnomes have a wonderful set of armor. Now when
How about rare racial armors?
Now see, this is what I did to kind of curtail magical item acquisition by the party. Is that when it came to like orcs and hobgoblins and things like that, I made the items racial that would work for orcs or half orcs or hobgoblins or whatever, but that would only be magical. They have a magic aura and a slight and a tinge of evil if detected for, but that's all they'd be able to know until they either identified it or went to a sage or a higher level mage to figure it out. And that way it kind of put humanoids on a better par with the PCs who would have +1s and +2s and +3s. Higher level ones would have, +3 hobgoblin brigandine armor or +1 full orcish full plate, which would not look like human full plate. It would be, like Klingon armor or, something like that.
Okay.
Or even like I would even go as far as like, Battle Rager armor in some cases, depending on what they were,
Okay.
I mean, but it's like full on set.
Multi-strikes.
Yeah. If you wanted to,
What are you, Fist of the North Star?
Yeah, exactly. I just said that. If you want to go Fist of the North Star, sure. You're already dead. You just don't know
You're
it yet.
already dead. You just don't know it yet.
Exactly.
Kaboom!
Yep. I mean, it was just one of those ways to kind of give monsters, or at least humanoids in my game, sort of an even break. I mean, you guys went up against it, in Hammers of the Duchy. There were a couple of hobgoblin spears in there and a couple of, bugbear morning stars or something like that. I don't remember exactly.
Well, anyway, you guys want to talk about it? We'll go to THACOShammer@gmail.com, and it's time to close the splat book.
Yes, indeed it is.
Before I close the splat book, I typed on Facebook while we were doing the show that we were recording THACO's Hammer. So Dave Bledsoe says, "Tell the gang I said hello." Hi, Dave.
Hi, Dave.
What's up, Bledsoe?
It'll be probably 3 to 5 weeks before you hear it, but hi.
What's up, Butso?
What's up, Bledsoe?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, it's his last name.
Sorry there. Anyway, say goodnight, Brian.
Good night, folks. And just remember, that's not a bronze dragon you're fighting, so don't feel bad about it.
Corey?
Remember, when you're being cremated, it's your last hope for a hot body.
They can't cremate me. They run out of cream. Second Life,
Everything begins and ends with knowledge of the map. The map that everybody tried to draw out on graph paper. You now have a book that has it.
Oh, the night. Oh, you're just flashing me back to those nightmares, and I'm like, that map is not working. I have to go buy Ruins of Adventure. And I did.
Yes. And I'm DM Glenn saying we'll see you next time when the hammer comes down on where? THACO's hammer. Bye. Oh, the map. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. That freaking maze with the freaking poison thorns that you can't cut through because you'll lose characters. Yeah.
THACO's Hammer theme is provided by the Diablo Swing Orchestra. You'll find them on Jamendo.com. All other additional music for this episode was provided by Kevin MacLeod. You'll find more of his music on Incompetech.com. Be sure to visit our website at thacoshammer.info. If you have any questions or comments, email us at thacoshammer@gmail.com. Remember, that's an O, not a 0. You can also find us on the second edition forums at osrgaming.org and at purpleworm.org. Or give us a call and leave us a voicemail at 405-806-0555. See you next time when the hammer comes down on THACO's Hammer.